10 of the hardest hitting home defense weapons you can buy with no license, no background check, not a single form. All shipped straight from Amazon. Yeah, you heard that right. No gunpowder, no permit, nobody asking you a thing. Some of these punch clean through plywood. One of them outruns a few real firearms, and they're ranked heaviest hitting last. So stick around and hit subscribe because the top of this list gets genuinely serious. So folks, here's how they stack up. Number 10, Umarex Glock 17 T4E. Let's open with one that plays a different game than most on this list. And enough familiarity? The Glock 17 T4E takes the most recognized handgun platform on the planet and turns it into a less lethal defender that runs exactly like the real thing. The blowback is crisp and snappy, the slide cycles, and every control sits right where a Glock shooter already expects to find it. That's the entire idea. A single 12-gram CO2 cartridge powers it, and it launches .43 caliber rounds. Rubber, powder, or the one that actually matters for defense. Pepper balls that burst and dump a cloud straight into a threat's face from across the room. The 8-round magazine keeps things compact, and a rail underneath takes a light or laser. Now, where it sits on the scale, at 4 to 5 joules and 350 to 400 feet per second, it's not the hardest hitter you'll see today. But that was never the job. This is a side-off, and its real edge is speed and muscle memory. If you already run a Glock, you'll know this one cold the instant you pick it up. Number 9. Barnett Demon Tri-Strike. Next up, something small that quietly fixes a problem every other pistol crossbow just lives with. Normally you fire one shot, then you're wrestling to recock the thing while your one good moment walks out the door. Barnett looked at that and did the obvious thing nobody else bothered to. They built it around a 3-shot magazine. Load 3 of the little 7-inch bolts, break the action forward and back, and the next one's already indexed and waiting. No fumbling, no glancing down to reset. It runs about $70, sits dead silent, throws 0 muzzle flash, and vanishes into a nightstand drawer like it was made for one. There's an auto-engaging safety too, so nothing fires until you genuinely mean it to. Where it gives ground is distance. Those bolts leave the rail around 180 feet per second, so past 30 feet, real precision falls off fast, and it feeds only Barnett's own proprietary arrows. Nothing else on the shelf. But across a room, 3 quiet, quick shots for $70 is a smart, easy way to start this list. Number 8, Cold Steel Big Bore Blowgun. Now for the one nobody expects to see on a serious list, and then they watch it drive a dart clean through half-inch plywood. The Cold Steel Big Bore is not the flimsy toy you remember from childhood. Most blowguns run a .40 bore. Cold Steel went all the way to .625. Bigger bore means a heavier dart, and a heavier dart means real energy downrange and a flatter flight at distance. They rated effective out past 20 yards, and with a little practice, tight groups on a 2-inch target are genuinely doable. The heavy payload darts punch through that plywood without much drama, which is why people use it on small game: dove, quail, rabbit, squirrel. The other thing it brings is near total silence. No powder, no gas, no crack, just a rush of air and the sound of the hit. What it asks in return is technique and calm air. Wind pushes a light dart around more than beginners expect. Master the breath though, and it's the quietest thing you'll own. Number 7, Crosman P1377 American Classic. Here's a piece of American gear that's been quietly doing its job since 1977, and it still outshoots things that cost triple. The P1377 is a multi-pump .177 pistol, and the beauty is right there in how simple it is. No CO2, no tanks, nothing to run her out of. You pump the forearm anywhere from 3 to 10 times, and each pump stacks on more velocity. Now wind it up to 10, and you're pushing a pellet near 600 feet per second. Plenty to punch clean through a soda can at 30 feet. And it's a genuine tack driver. Testers regularly print groups under an inch at 7 yards, which is tighter than some centerfire handguns manage. A tin of 500 pellets runs about $8, so practice costs almost nothing. Where it asks patience is the reload. It's a single-shot bolt action, so you're loading one pellet and repumping between shots, and that takes 10 to 15 seconds. For a defensive tool, that's a real trade, but for pure accuracy per dollar, almost nothing touches it. Number 6, EK Archery Cobra R9. Halfway up the list, and this is where crossbows stop being novelties and start meaning business. The EK Archery Cobra R9 is a self-cocking crossbow with a 90-pound draw. And that self-cocking part is the whole story. Every traditional crossbow shares one crippling flaw for defense. After a single shot, you're staring down 20 to 30 seconds of hauling the string back and reloading, which in a real moment is an eternity. The Cobra erases most of that. It uses an integrated underlever system, so you drop the lever, the limbs recock in 2 to 3 seconds, you load the next bolt, and you're back on target. All of it happens while the bow stays shouldered. The whole thing weighs around 5.5 pounds, breaks down without tools, and wears a top rail for a red dot that makes low-light aiming quick. Where it gives ground is raw power against full-size hunting crossbows in the 150-pound range. 90 pounds is respectable, not monstrous, and the bolts are shorter, proprietary things. But at across-the-room distances, that fast lever cycle matters far more than the last few foot-pounds ever will. Number 5. Huben GK1. Now things get genuinely serious because this is where an air pistol stops behaving like an air pistol. The Huben GK1 takes the core of Huben's K1 bullpup rifle and crams it into a lightweight, tactical-feeling sidearm, and the numbers it puts up are almost hard to believe from something this size. In .22, it launches pellets up to 918 feet per second, which works out to real energy, anywhere from 4.5 to over 30 foot-pounds depending on how you tune it. That tuning is the trick. Dial the power down for practice, crank it up when you want maximum bite. Feeding it is an internal 85 cubic centimeters air reservoir rated to 5,000 pounds per square inch, and instead of swapping magazines, it runs a built-in rotating drum that advances itself on every shot, up to 45 shots before a refill. The walnut grip gives it a solid, deliberate feel in the hand. Being a PCP, it does need a pump or compressor to fill. There's noticeable recoil since there's no heavy slide soaking it up. But for real PCP power in something you can hold in one hand, this is remarkable engineering. Number 4. PXon JPX Pepper Gun. This is where the legal side gets clever, and it's worth understanding exactly why, because the trick is the whole reason this thing exists. The JPX looks like a pistol and holds like one, but it doesn't fire a bullet. Instead, it uses a small pyrotechnic charge. Think of it as a tiny controlled burst rather than a barrel in a round, to launch a fast, straight jet of liquid pepper. That single design choice is why the ATF doesn't classify it as a firearm, and that's precisely how it lands on a no-permit list while still hitting like something far more serious. And it genuinely hits. That jet leaves the muzzle at roughly 400 miles an hour and reaches out around 23 feet, which is a lot of distance to keep a problem well away from it. Because it's a tight stream and not a mist, there's no cloud drifting back into your own eyes, so it stays usable indoors where a spray would blind everyone. One solid hit can shut a person down for around 45 minutes. What it asks of you is discipline. You get 2 shots before a reload, so every squeeze has to land, and the trigger takes a firm, deliberate pull by design. A few states, New York among them, run their own rules, so give yours a quick look first. Number 3. Burna SD. Strip this entire category down to one question. What was actually built from the ground up to defend a human being, not to plink cans or hunt hogs? And the Burna SD keeps coming back as the answer. The name isn't marketing fluff. SD stands for self-defense, and every decision in the design points that direction. It's a .68 caliber, CO2-powered launcher that throws kinetic impact rounds and chemical irritant rounds at close to 300 feet per second, and it does it with almost no recoil and no slide snapping back at your hand. That matters more than it sounds. It means someone who has never been comfortable around firearms can pick this up and run it well inside of a minute. The real magic is what you feed it. Load pure kinetic rounds for blunt stopping force, pepper rounds that burst into a choking cloud on contact, or the combination experienced owners swear by. A couple of kinetic rounds up front to fold someone over, then pepper rounds right behind to end the conversation. The full bundle lands around $400, which isn't pocket change on this list. Where it gives ground is the 5-round magazine and a working range that fades past 60 feet or so. Inside a home, though, hallways, doorways, room to room, 60 feet is a distance you will almost never need. Number 2. Umarex T4E HDX. Now we get to the one that actually looks and sounds like it means to end an argument. The Umarex T4E HDX is a less lethal pump-action shotgun, and everything about it is built for presence. Rack that pump in a dark house, and the sound alone does work no spec sheet can measure. The receiver is full metal, there's a heavy muzzle brake up front, and the whole thing tips the scale past 3 kilograms. Real weight that says this isn't a toy the second you lift it. It fires .50 caliber rounds from a tubular magazine that holds up to 16, and the high-powered version runs on an 88-gram CO2 capsule to push out a genuine 40 joules of force per shot. That's serious energy for a less lethal platform. There's a full-length top rail for optics and an under rail for a light or laser, so you can set it up exactly how you want it. Here's the feature that seals it for home defense. The quick piercing system lets it sit staged for months, cartridges loaded but unpierced. A light tap on the back of the stock pierces them, and you're ready for up to 42 shots with a pressure indicator confirming it's live. 16 rounds, 40 joules, months of standby readiness. For stopping power without a firearm, this one earns its number 2 spot easily. Number 1, Umarex AirSaber. And here's the king, the one everything below was quietly building toward. Every other pick on this list traded something away. Cheaper, quieter, easier, smaller. The AirSaber trades away almost nothing, and that's exactly why it wears the crown. This is a PCP-powered arrow rifle that launches a full-length 376-grain arrow at up to 450 feet per second on 4,000 pounds per square inch of compressed air. And the number that comes off the muzzle genuinely stops the conversation. 169 foot-pounds of energy. That isn't airgun territory anymore. That stands shoulder to shoulder with real crossbows and pushes into ground some actual firearms occupy. Put plainly, at that speed, a full-weight arrow drives clean through layers of drywall, plywood, and ballistic gel without slowing down to think about it. Umarex doesn't even market this as home defense. They sell it to hunters, and people have taken deer and hogs with it. The elite version holds 2 arrows, so a fast follow-up rides under 2 seconds behind the first. What it asks of you is fair and few. It's a PCP rifle, so you'll need a pump or compressor to fill it. At around 42 inches, it's the longest thing here, which costs you a little maneuvering in a tight hallway. And near $500, it's the priciest. But for pure capability shipped to your door with no paperwork, nothing else on Amazon comes close. So guys, there's your 10, from a $70 pistol crossbow all the way up to an arrow rifle that hits like the real thing. And here's what sticks with me. The flashiest weapon on the shelf isn't always the one that saves you. The best pick is whatever you'll keep close and actually know how to run when it counts. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me which one's going in your cart first. And if I left off a hard hitter you swear by, put it down there so everybody else can find it too. Hit like if this saved you some digging, subscribe with the bell so the next breakdown lands in front of you, and send this to the one person you actually worry about. Catch you on the next one.